So one more important nitrogen compound, nitric acid. This is first of all oxy acids of nitrogen. There we will discuss the nitric acid. Oxy acids of nitrogen. And the first one H2N2O2. This is called hyponitrous acid. And the second one HNO2. This is nitrous acid. HNO3. Nitric acid. Next HNO4. This is pernitric acid. So in case of HNO4, you can see one peroxide linkage, oxygen-oxygen linkage. Peroxide bond will be there. This is why it is called pernitric acid or peroxynitric acid. In hyponitrous acid, the oxidation state of nitrogen is +1, whereas in case of nitrous acid, it is +3, and nitric acid, it is +5. Again, pernitric acid also it is +5, not +7. Why? Because we have out of 4 oxygens, 2 of the oxygens are in peroxide linkage, -1 oxidation state. Nitric acid and pernitric acid and their oxidation states are same only. But anyhow, out of these 4, our main focus is on nitric acid. That is important. Now we will see the preparation and properties of nitric acid, HNO. Nitric acid, the preparation. The first one, simply if you take sodium nitrate salt, if we treat with sulfuric acid, we will get the nitric acid. This is one method. And the second important method, this we will get for board level also, Ostwald process, preparation of nitric acid by Ostwald process, very important. So here various steps involved to get the final nitric acid. The starting material involved in this Ostwald process is ammonia. Similar to Ostwald process, we have one more, that is called Birkeland-Eyde process, but there the first step is different and here the first step is different. The starting material here involved is ammonia. So ammonia is also one of the application of ammonia for the preparation of nitric acid. We can use this. Various steps. The first step here, ammonia can be converted into the nitric oxide. And this step also important. This if we treat with the catalyst like platinum or rhodium catalyst. In presence of platinum or rhodium at a temperature of approximately 500 Kelvin in 9 bar pressure, it can produce nitric oxide. Again, we require here high pressure. Why? Because here more number of moles to the less number of moles. So here 4 moles of ammonia and 5 moles of oxygen can give 4 moles of nitric oxide. Sometimes you can use, this is example for heterogeneous catalysis reaction. Here ammonia, oxygen, it is are in the gaseous state, and platinum and rhodium, they are in solid state. We can take for heterogeneous catalysis. And the first reaction is very important. Means they may ask you the question in different manner. And the next one, after getting this nitric oxide, it can further undergo oxidation. You will get nitrogen dioxide, nitric oxide to the nitrogen dioxide. And this nitrogen dioxide in the final step can hydrolyze and will get finally nitric acid and releases nitric oxide. Again, the nitric oxide liberated is a byproduct. This can be used for the second step to get the nitrogen dioxide. Again, that nitrogen dioxide can liberate again nitric oxide. That is a recycling process. You can use the nitric oxide, the byproduct formed here, again for the formation of nitric acid. Like this, in these 3 steps, we can get finally the nitric acid by using the starting material ammonia. It is called Ostwald process. Anyhow, the nitric acid will get here, that can be further concentrated by using distillation techniques. And this is also important point. Aqueous nitric acid. Anyhow, in dissolve in HNO2, we will get aqueous HNO3. It is almost 61% by mass. Can be concentrated by distillation up to 68% by mass. The nitric acid produced in this reaction can be further concentrated by distillation process. But further, to get the pure form of nitric acid, approximately 98% of nitric acid. So further we have to remove the moisture from this, we have to dehydrate it. So by the help of dehydrating agent, we can further concentrate this nitric acid. So further concentration almost up to 98% by mass can be achieved by dehydration with concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a good dehydrating agent. So it can remove the water present in that 68% of nitric acid. You will get further almost 98% by mass of nitric acid by using this concentrated sulfuric acid. That is the Ostwald process. In the third method, Birkeland-Eyde process. Birkeland-Eyde process. So it is also similar to that previous, but here first step, instead of ammonia, we will take nitrogen. First we have to convert the nitrogen into the nitric oxide. This is the first step. We have to break this nitrogen to convert into nitric oxide is not that much easy. We required a high energy to break the nitrogen triple bond. So this reaction generally can take place in presence of electric arc. We know that it is endothermic reaction, formation of nitric oxide. In the next step, this nitric oxide further oxidized and to convert into the nitrogen dioxide. And this nitrogen dioxide can be hydrolyzed in presence of oxygen. You will get nitric acid, the Birkeland-Eyde process. So these are the three different methods for the preparation of nitric acid. Next, properties.
Can go.
So you can see the properties of nitric acid, both physical and chemical properties. Again, nitric acid is a colorless liquid, but it can show brown color when exposed to the atmosphere. It is a sunlight. So when exposed to sunlight, it turns brownish. So that is due to when exposed to the sunlight, this HNO3 can undergo decomposition and it can release a nitrogen dioxide. And this nitrogen dioxide is responsible for that brown color. We know that NO2 is a paramagnetic, is a colored compound, it will show. But if you take a pure form, a normal state, it is a colorless liquid. And one more important point here, dilute nitric acid. Generally, it can act as a strong acid, it behaves as a strong acid. Anyhow, HNO3 is a strong acid, but apart from the acidic acid, it can act as an oxidizing agent also. But when you take concentrated nitric acid, it behaves as a strong oxidizing agent. Concentrated nitric acid can behave as a strong oxidizing agent. Now let us see a few chemical properties related to this nitric acid. This HNO3 can react with non-metals, metals and some noble metals, some metallites also. So first one, reaction with non-metals. All these chemical properties are very, very important for nitric acid. Reaction with non-metals. First one, let us take non-metals here, sulfur, iodine, phosphorus, carbon, very important, mostly given in the NCERT. Those examples will take up here. Iodine. If we treat with nitric acid, it will convert the iodine into iodic acid. to HiO3 and it releases nitrogen dioxide, water. And similarly, carbon, coke also can be converted into the carbon dioxide. All can be oxidized. Here nitric acid can act as a strong oxidizing agent. It can oxidize the non-metals into corresponding acids, higher oxidation state. For example, iodine 0 state to the +5 oxidation state. It can oxidize I2 to the HiO3. Similarly, carbon to carbon dioxide. And you will get other byproducts, water, nitrogen dioxide. Mostly whenever you use the concentrated nitric acid, nitrogen dioxide is one of the byproducts. This is also very important point. So you can take these all reactions as one of the preparation methods of NO2. When we will get NO2 means whenever you use a concentrated nitric acid. Again, sulfur, if we treat with nitric acid, sulfur can be oxidized into the sulfuric acid. And this is a balanced equation. Again, we will get nitrogen dioxide here. Similarly, phosphorus, P4. If we treat with concentrated nitric acid, phosphorus can be oxidized into the phosphoric acid. We will get H3PO4. Again, nitrogen dioxide plus water. Here we have taken a normal carbon, but carbon allotropic form of carbon. Let us take a carbon graphite. This is a coke here, carbon in the form of coke and carbon in the form of graphite. Again, if we treat with this concentrated nitric acid, then this graphite will be converted into the graphitic acid. This is the mellitic acid we will get. Or benzene carboxylic acid, hexacarboxylic acid. In place of hydrogen, just we can write all COOH functional groups. And this is called mellitic acid, or we can say graphitic acid. The formula this one C6 COOH6 when graphite if you treat with concentrated nitric acid. An allotrope of one more carbon, that is a diamond. Diamond if you treat with HNO3, no reaction. Only graphite only can react. These are few important reactions of nitric acid with non-metals. Next with metals. The second one, reaction with metals. Reaction with metals. So your metal can react with nitric acid in different conditions, means with a dilute nitric acid or concentrated nitric acid or very dilute nitric acid. If you change the concentration of nitric acid, the product form will be changed. So in different concentrations, you will get different types of products. With the same metal will be the same, but if you change the concentration of nitric acid, the product may change. We will see the examples here. First one with zinc. Let us take the zinc. Zinc if we treat with first one very dilute HNO3. In this case, we will get zinc nitrate and other byproducts, ammonium nitrate and water. Here I am not writing the balanced equation, just the products, what type of products you get. Next, if you take dilute HNO3, instead of very dilute, if you take dilute HNO3, then the product you get zinc nitrate. Anyhow, this is a salt, but the other byproduct here, first case very dilute nitric acid, ammonium nitrite is a byproduct, but here you will get nitrous oxide is a byproduct. In third, if you take concentrated nitric acid, we will take concentrated nitric acid, anyhow we will get nitrates only, salt, but the product is here We know that when you use a concentrated nitric acid, nitrogen dioxide is one of the byproduct plus water. So like this you will get the products. The difference is here where you can see the clear difference with respect to these byproducts at this region. First case ammonium nitrite, nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide. Again, out of these three, first, second two are very important. When you use a dilute nitric acid, what is a byproduct? Nitrous oxide. And when you use concentrated nitric acid, and this is a nitrogen dioxide is a byproduct. So this is also very, very important. And the second, take with the copper. And similarly, with the copper, if you take dilute HNO3 and concentrated. In case of copper, there is no very dilute condition. Directly dilute HNO3 and concentrated HNO. You will get the products like this: copper nitrate plus nitric oxide, water. But if you use a concentrated nitric acid, in the products, copper nitrate is the common, and here you will get nitrogen dioxide. Again, concentrated nitric acid can produce nitrogen dioxide. So everywhere concentrated nitric acid is the same, but difference with the dilute nitric acid. So if you use for zinc case, the dilute nitric acid can produce nitrous oxide, but in case of copper, the dilute nitric acid can produce nitric oxide. This is these two reactions are very important, and these two reactions are mentioned in the NCERT. Okay, now you have to go through these two reactions very carefully with the dilute and concentrated, and what are the byproducts, the difference in the byproducts. Concentrated anyhow the same, nitrogen dioxide. And apart from this, in place of copper, if you take silver or lead, again the products are the same. If you take silver, here you may get the silver nitrate or lead nitrate, both the case, but the byproduct is here nitric oxide and here nitrogen dioxide. If you use a concentrated for both, again here this is a silver nitrate or lead nitrate. So only the difference is with the NO2. Here you will get NO2 and here NO. In place of copper, you can take these two also very, very important. Copper, silver, lead, they can give same type of byproducts, NO and NO2. Similarly, other metals here, reaction with the tin, again with the dilute HNO3 and concentrated HNO3. In case of tin, dilute HNO3 can give tin nitrate. This is stannous nitrate plus ammonium nitrate. Water, water is a common, but when you use concentrated nitric acid, so entirely previous case, if you dilute nitric acid or stannous nitrate, previous cases also if you see everywhere we are getting metal nitrates. But in this case, you will not get the metal nitrate. In case of concentrated nitric acid, instead of this SnNO3, we will get stannous acid, stannic acid. We will get H2SnO3, stannic acid. This product also will change. So this also you have to observe here stannous nitrate, and but here stannic acid. And apart from this, concentrated nitric acid, nitrogen dioxide, this is a common, plus water. So you can observe their difference with the two byproducts. In two products case, the change, but previous case only one product change. Anyhow, the main product is constant. But in case it is different. This also you have to observe. Similarly with magnesium or manganese, if you take any one, these can react with the dilute nitric acid, and then they can give the metal nitrates, so either magnesium nitrate or you may get manganese nitrate. But here the byproduct is hydrogen. So in previous cases we have the water, some ammonium nitrate or nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, but here when you use the magnesium and manganese, they liberate hydrogen from the dilute acids. Magnesium, manganese, magnesium is highly electropositive in nature. They can liberate hydrogen from the dilute acids. And similarly, metalloids, these are the metals. Next, reaction with metalloids. Let me take the metalloids, arsenic and antimony. These two are the metalloids. When you treat with metalloids, again dilute and concentrated conditions, dilute HNO3. Instead of here nitrates, we will get acids. Both the case, you will get arsenic acid or antimonic acid. And another byproduct is nitric oxide. And if you use concentrated nitric acid, again one of the product is the same. You may get arsenic acid or antimonic acid, but here a concentrated nitric acid can give nitrogen dioxide. So this is with metalloids. Arsenic, antimony, both are the metalloids. So reaction with non-metals, metals and metalloids. So here few of the metals, anyhow apart from this, few of the metals can show passivity towards the nitric acid. So they cannot form these nitrates, and they are the metals. This is also very important, the passivity of nitrogen. Some metals like iron, chromium and aluminium do not dissolve in concentrated nitric acid. Do not dissolve in concentrated nitric acid. Why? Because of the formation of a passive films. Formation of a passive film. Passive film of oxide on the surface of the metal. So that is why this layer stop the further contact of this metal with nitric acid, and the further reaction can be stopped. That is why this can behave as a passivity towards the concentrated nitric acid. Actually, let us take any, for example, iron or aluminium. Mostly sometimes they'll ask you about iron and aluminium, why they can show the passivity towards the concentrated nitric acid. So this aluminium or iron in presence of concentrated nitric acid, they can react with atmospheric oxygen and they'll form a thin coated layer over this aluminium. It will form aluminium oxide layer. A kind of coating can be formed, Al2O3 layer, and this layer can be stopped the further contact of aluminium with concentrated nitric acid. That is why they can show some passivity towards the concentrated nitric acid. This is possible with this type of metals. And the next, and there are some metals, even though here it is a passive nature, and some metals even do not dissolve in concentrated nitric acid, but they can dissolve in aqua regia mixture. They are so mainly noble metals. This is also very important points. Noble metals, mainly gold and platinum, do not react with concentrated nitric acid, but however they dissolve in aqua regia mixture. They dissolve in aqua regia. This is also very important. What is aqua regia? Aqua regia is the 1:3 mass ratio of HNO3 and HCl. It is a mixture of HNO3 and HCl, and they are in 1:3 ratio. So 1 part of HNO3 and 3 parts of HCl is called aqua regia. And these two metals, gold and platinum, can dissolve in this aqua regia mixture. This is a very high powerful, so it can dissolve any type of metals. Aqua regia. So even it can dissolve noble metals, means we can assume how much strong it is. So when this aqua regia, if we treat with gold, it can react with this aqua regia. It will form auric acid. chloroauric acid. Apart from this, you will get nitrosyl chloride plus water. And this is called chloroauric acid. Chloroauric acid. And this is a reaction when noble metals treat with aqua regia. This you should remember. The composition of aqua regia 1:3 ratio of HNO3 and HCl. These are some chemical properties of HNO3. And reaction with metals, non-metals, metallites, some noble metals, some passive metals. And overall, we can conclude that when you treat this concentrated nitric acid with some element, it may be metal, non-metal, whatever it is, you will get nitrogen dioxide. This you should remember. One of the byproduct is nitrogen dioxide. Next, heating effect of metal nitrates. This is also very, very important. Heating effect of nitrates. So these are sometimes useful in the stoichiometric calculations, and sometimes directly questions also can be asked. First one, metal nitrates like alkali metal nitrates can undergo decomposition and they can give metal nitrides and releases oxygen, where M you can take as M may be sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium, except lithium. We know that lithium can show anomalous property, and if you use a lithium nitrate, LiNO3, and we will get the products lithium oxide. This is some anomalous properties of the lithium, and you will get the products like this. This is also very, very important. Except lithium, the remaining first A group metal nitrate, they can give the same type of products. Lithium nitrate can give this one, and this one also very, very important. Similarly, second type, second A group metal nitrates is alkaline earth metal nitrates. MnO3 taken twice, they can undergo decomposition and they will give the metal oxides. Similar to the lithium nitrate, we know the lithium can show the diagonal relationship with the magnesium. So where the metal you can take here, all second A group elements, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, all these. Apart from this, some other metals, zinc, copper and lead. This also on thermal decomposition can produce metal oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. And these two reactions are very, very important. So alkali metal nitrates, alkaline earth metal nitrates, apart from this zinc, copper, lead. They'll ask you frequently. This is you should remember. So next we will see Brown ring test. This is a Brown ring test. Actually, this is identification test for the nitrate and nitrite salts. NO2 minus or NO3 minus. They are present. We can identify by using this Brown ring test. So this is a test, Brown ring test. Actually, what they'll do, they'll take in a test tube. In test tube, they'll take nitrate salt, which containing NO3 minus ions, mostly NO3 minus or NO2 minus nitrate salt, and to this nitrate salt they'll add some iron 2 plus ions, ferrous sulfate, and then this ferrous sulfate will react with this nitrate ions, it will convert that into the nitric oxide. The reaction can take place here itself, and again they'll add slowly concentrated sulfuric acid at the walls of this test tube. When add concentrated sulfuric acid in the walls of the test tube slowly, and when this sulfuric acid is in contact with this solution, then immediately it can form a brown color link. A brown color layer can be formed at the contact of these. So there is a contact between the so whenever we add this concentrated sulfuric acid to the walls of that test tube, when the contact between the H2SO4 and that solution, then there can form a brown color layer. It will form a kind of the ring when the H2SO4 spread over that liquid solution, and you can see the clear visibility of that brown color, and that is called brown ring. And this formation of this brown ring confirms that we have the nitrate salts are there in the given salt. Like this we can confirm. The chemical reactions takes place in this brown ring test is chemical reactions are like this. First, this nitrate salts NO3 minus will treat with the iron 2 plus ions in presence of acidic medium. There is a concentrated sulfuric acid. It can produce nitric oxide. This is responsible for the formation of brown ring. In the next step, this nitric oxide can undergo reaction with this iron complex. Then it will form this complex. And this complex is called brown ring complex, and this is the brown ring complex. Again, this is very important. You should remember the chemical formula of brown ring complex. And here the oxidation state of iron. Most of the cases iron can exist in +2 or +3 oxidation state, but exception in brown ring complex iron oxidation state is +1. This is also very important. You should remember. Here iron oxidation state is +1. Only in a brown ring complex it exists in +1 state. And this is overall the brown ring test. This is identification test for the nitrate salts. And this is the information about the nitrogen and nitrogen compounds. Next we will see phosphorus and phosphorus compounds and oxyacids.